Hello, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk. I am your host, Pop Culture Mechanic. You can call me Pop for short. And on this stream, we always take a look at the skilled trades, and we look at the economy from an industrial point of view, just to see how things are going on out there. So I hope this will be a educational journey for you. Maybe relax, take a break from what's been going on in the world, and let's just have a look at how we can get ourselves a better career or better ourselves through, a little more knowledge, a little more hands-on learning. But before we get to that, I just want to welcome David Glenn. Welcome, David. Good to see you. And the leader of Whoopstotska, Whoopa Troopa. I knew you wanted to talk about trading Pokemon cards, but this might be the wrong stream for that. Wrong type of trading. And of course, Alex Moore. Cheers to you, the working man. Good to see you, Alex. All right. So as I so often do, we'll start out with a little bit of the news out there. Let's have a look and see. Oh, there we go. We'll have a look at MRO, Canada's maintenance voice. Oh, and it's DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? Getting home from work? Let's have a look here. I know, Enerchem. For those of you that don't know, I've worked next door to Enerchem in the past, and they had a site that was going to take plastic and turn it into methanol or ethanol. So I'm curious as to whether they got that up and running, because the last time I saw it was not doing very well. And I also would like to welcome Tits and Rayguns. How you doing, Tits? Nice to see you. Just occurred to you that in this stream, you're the foreign worker. But are you temporary? Of course, Whoopa, you think I should go back to that wallpaper personally? Yeah, it's hard to read my stuff if you guys are watching that thing. That's okay. You're reviewing your last training game, but you got very mad, so you have thrown it away. Oh, damn. All right, let's see what these guys have to say. Montreal-based Enerchem, a technology provider enabling low-carbon fuels and chemicals production from waste, has named Michel Chournet as its new CEO, succeeding Dominique Bois in this role. Michel Chournet assumes the role of CEO with immediate effect. Chournet's family founded Enerchem in 2000, and company officials said that Michel brings experience in technology development, business development, plant startups, performance, financing activities, and growth management, as well as R&D. He has been with Enerchem for years in various leadership positions, and he notably headed business development activities as well as technology management. Outgoing CEO Bois first served as CFO of Enerchem before assuming the role of CEO in 2019. Under his leadership, Enerchem saw the launch of Enerchem's first-of-a-kind commercial project, Varennes Carbon Recycling, currently in construction in Quebec, advancing multiple projects and securing strategic financial partnerships. Dominique has laid a robust foundation for Enerchem's future success, and I'm honored to build upon the foundation, Michel Chournet said in a statement. Dominique will forever be a part of Enerchem's journey, and we extend our hopeful thanks to for his contributions. Okay, big deal. They got a new CEO. They should have talked more about what they do and if they're making a difference. Booze, plastic, Canadian beer tastes like plastic. Oh, come on now. At least it's 5%. Not like that 3% the American beer is. Okay, yeah, so much for that one. WestJet and AMFA agreements ratified. I believe this was a strike with the mechanics. The first collective bargaining agreement between WestJet and the Aircraft Mechanics Fraternal Association, the certified union representing WestJet aircraft maintenance engineers and other technical operations employees, was ratified on July 12th. Well, for those of you who don't know, that's one of Canada's air carriers is WestJet. The other one is Air Canada. One is based in Toronto, Air Canada, and WestJet is based out of Calgary. So, and they used to give really good service, but I think they've kind of fallen by the wayside now. So, just our local carriers. Light beer is no more beer than light mayonnaise. Oh yeah. No, I found it took me a while to find out the beer that I like to drink the most, and it turns out I like Stella Artois. So it's imported beer, but it actually tastes the best to me out of all the stuff. Reaching this milestone is good news for our organization and our guests, solidifying a 5-year agreement that provides stability to our business and reflects the instrumental value and contributions of our aircraft maintenance engineers and other technical operations employees, said Diederik Penn, president of WestJet Airlines and Group Chief Operating Officer. While we are grateful to have achieved resolution to the clear path forward together as a unified team, we recognize that the unprecedented impact of the disruption over July long weekend is still concerning for our guests, the communities we serve, and our people. Earlier this month, WestJet was forced to park 130 aircraft at 13 airports across Canada in response to the strike. Ooh, man, that is a disruption. Man, oh man. But, once again, as part of the skilled trades and aircraft maintenance engineer, it's important. You got to pay them for their skills. You can't be trying to undercut them. Yeah, exactly, Tits. The negotiations did go on for too long. They tried to screw the mechanics. Yeah, exactly. Stellar, you didn't know I was so fancy? It's owned by InBev? Oh, is it? I had no idea, Whoop. I'd have to look it up and see who owns Stella Artois. You're a homebrewer? Curse your... Hey, homebrew, that's the stuff. If you can take the time and craft your own beer, that's great. Like, why not? At least you know what you're putting in it. For the benefit of Slotska Mechanized Armored Forces. Oh, yeah, with your transparent boxes. Nice, DJ. Actually, I'm kind of curious now. Who owns Stella Artois? Oh no, Anheuser-Busch InBev. It's an international Pilsner beer brand currently owned by Anheuser-Busch and distributed all over the world with an alcohol volume of either 5 or 5.2. No, not Anheuser-Busch. That's okay. I don't drink a lot anymore. So. And lastly, not a very busy news day, but don't even drink your country's beer. Some kind of anti-Trudeauist. Yes, I am, Tits. If like that guy, just the sound of his voice just disgusts me. I can't stand looking at him. Can't stand hearing him. I really want him to leave. I want him to go away, go back to Cuba, so he can cry about his dad some more. So that's how I think about that guy. You are drinking piss beer with fancy name. I can't even remember the last time I actually drank a beer. So beer makes you fat. So I don't want to get into drinking it. Windsor gets $117 million to upgrade its transit system. The funding will help the Ontario City buy hybrid buses and phase out diesel ones. Once again, we've heard this before. This whole thing about them, we're going to buy hybrid buses. You had electric buses before in cities. This is not something new. The thing that's new now is that you're making them battery powered instead of just electric from overhead lines. So these people that are patting themselves on the back going, "Oh, look at us. Great job. We're doing our part for the environment." No, you guys had that already, and you decided to get rid of them because they were too expensive to maintain. So you're a bunch of hypocrites. And it should be expected, I guess, that people in government are hypocrites. So Anheuser-Busch was good until InBev merged with them. You blame those damn Belgians. Okay, Whoopa. I didn't know that they merged with those guys merged. I don't really keep up on that, but sounds like you're in the know. This man knows his stuff here. Anyways, let's get along here. The city of Windsor is upgrading its transit system after a joint federal, provincial, municipal investment of more than $117 million. The upgrades include improved bus stops, terminals, new technologies, and a larger fleet. The investment will also help the city purchase new hybrid electric buses and phase out old diesel ones. This is the largest federal investment ever in Windsor public transit, and it comes at the most vital time when demand is growing because our community is growing, said Parliamentary Secretary Irek Kuzmiski. I talk to seniors, students, workers, and business owners all the time who tell me reliable public transit is critical to their day-to-day. See our federal government making historic investments in a modern transit Windsor, a new bridge, and a new battery plant that is together modernizing how our community moves. These upgrades to the bus system in Windsor will help students get to class and workers get to work. Yeah, the old ones did too. Like, what a stupid thing to say. This will help students get to class and workers get to work. Yeah, just like they did 40, 50 years ago. It's part of our government's nearly $70 billion investment to improve public transportation and support economic growth in communities across Ontario over the next 10 years. Public transit is obviously recognized as a necessity and a key economic driver by all three levels of government, and these investments will go a long way to improving our rider experience, said Kieran McKenzie, City Councillor and Transit Board member. And I bet you none of these people ride transit. None of the municipal people, none of the provincial people, and none of the federal people ride the transit. The politicians that are in power, they don't ride transit. And yeah, tits, they had overhead line buses in the 50s. Even back in the 1930s and 40s, they had those. I could show you videos of that in Vancouver. They had a bunch of them. And that's how people got around. InBev bought brands. That's all they did, eh? They just bought them up. It was big news since Anheuser-Busch is one of the biggest St. Louis employers, and the Busch family was always a big Oh, okay. So they're in St. Louis. They used to own the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, it used to be a very well respected company here. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, you'd know, Whoopa. You're right in there. Back in your day when you poured a bud into a glass, you couldn't see through it. Prices up, quality's down. Yeah. No kidding, tits. And that's it for the news today. Very, very light news week. At least from these guys, from MRO. I found this article here. From all places, it says Fox 40. In Binghamton. I'm not sure where that is, but probably somewhere back east. The next Skills Canada national competition will be held in Saskatchewan for the second time since Skills Canada 2015. In celebration of World Youth Skills Day, we are excited to announce that the Skills Canada National Competition 2025 will take place in Regina on May 29th and 30th at the Regina Exhibition Association Limited District. Through SCNC, they promote skilled trade and technology careers to Canadian youth. The Skilled Trades National Competition is a flagship event and is an ideal way to connect with tomorrow's skilled workforce. At SCNC, over 500 competitors from across Canada will be competing in over 40 skilled trade and technology skill areas for the opportunity to be named the best in the country in their chosen field. In addition, there will be over 50 interactive try-a-trade and technology activities, enabling thousands of visiting students and public the opportunity to explore, try several trades, and test their skills. The goal of the competition is to encourage youth to excel in their skilled trade or technology and to create awareness of the incredible career opportunities that are available in these sectors across Canada. This also represents a qualifying year for the World Skills Competition in Shanghai, China. Oh, really? You're going to have it in China, eh? That's disappointing. We are pleased to be hosting the Skills Canada National Competition 25 in Regina. SCNC provides an excellent opportunity to reach thousands of youth across Canada and promote the rewarding and lucrative careers that exist in the skilled trades and technologies, said Sean Thorson, Chief Executive Officer of Skills Competencies Canada. So back in your day, sorry, very true. Home of fast women and beautiful horses, Binghamton. Okay. There will be several additional SCC events happening in conjunction with SCNC. This includes the skills showcasing featuring First Nations, Inuit, and Métis skills, where we demonstrate the links between their skills and the skilled trades. In addition, the Empowering Women in Trades space, where young women can meet inspiring women who have pursued a career in the skilled trades and discover the amazing opportunities that exist for them. Furthermore, the Skills for Success stage will host informative presentations and fun activities for all visitors attending SCNC. The Skills for Success Forum will gather stakeholders from government, education, and industry with a focus on the SFS of writing. We are thrilled to have been selected to host the Skills Canada National Competition in Regina, which rhymes with fun, by the way, where talented individuals from across the country will come together and showcase their skills and compete at the highest level, said Regina Mayor Sandra Masters. We look forward to the dynamic atmosphere this competition will bring, as well as the chance to support youth pursuing careers in skilled trades and technologies. Our city is committed to ensuring every competitor and attendee has an exceptional and welcoming experience visiting our city. Lastly, a live stream featuring the opening and closing ceremonies, competition footage, and on-site interviews with celebrities, partners, alumni, members of the National Technical Committee and the National Board of Directors will be accessible through SCC's YouTube channel. You can also see its production on site. In addition, SCC will be distributing a video of the competition highlights at the end of each competition day on May 29th and 30th. The closing ceremony, where the results of the competition will be announced, will take place on May 31st. Also, there will be a winner's circle where the medalists will be professionally photographed and interviewed. Media will be invited to attend. According to Employment and Social Development Canada, about 700,000 of the 4 million Canadians who work in the trades are set to retire by the end of the decade, creating a significant shortage of skilled tradespeople. This is what I keep telling everybody. There's going to be a big retirement, and there's going to be lots of trouble now. You got to go over there, tits. Back to work you go. You have to run so stuff gets done. Very, very good rhyming. I like it. Skills Canada was founded in 1989 as a national not-for-profit organization that works with employers, educators, labor groups, and governments to promote skilled trade and technology careers among Canadian youth. There you go. It's going to be in Regina, Saskatchewan. All right. So, the main title of this stream was Heavy Metal Machinery. Why? Because I have worked in a shop with heavy metal machinery, building heavy metal machinery. And I have some pictures, no videos though, because this was back in the day, in the 1990s, before all that stuff was really cheap and available. And I just had a 35mm camera. First off here, for heavy, for the heavy machinery, I do know all about these things here. So these are excavator attachments. These are buckets. And you can get all kinds of buckets. You can get cleanup buckets. There's frost buckets. And they look like this. They're a little bit strange looking, but that's how they dig into the frost. They have looks like 3 teeth on the front for digging into that hard ground. There is, a muskeg bucket. They have a lot of teeth. And it looks like they have extra. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do here. That was the muskeg bucket. And there we go. You've got extra pieces welded on here for extra wear plates so that you don't have to repair your bucket as much. You can let the wear plate wear out, which is what these things are on the bottom. There's a shot there of it on a machine. You got wear plates on the bottom. You got wear plate on the side. This is meant for doing some long-term digging. Skeleton bucket. That's a new one to me, but it looks like it just, it's for sifting material. You can see here. It's got the bars in it, so you can sift out the big rocks and just be left with dirt. So that is pretty handy. The twist bucket, that sounds, okay, so this comes with a cylinder on the side. That way you can tilt it. And if you need to do like the side embankments, you can do it that. And it gives you that extra function you need. Here's an extreme service bucket. This will have a lot of wear plates on it. Yeah, as I can see. There it is in action there. What else we got here? A rock bucket, a road builder, a rock bucket. This has way more attachments on it. Look, there's that wear plate back here, but then there's also ones on the edges. You feel like you're looking at mecha parts, David? Almost. It's almost like operating a mecha when you're inside an excavator. You got hand controls, foot controls, thumb controls. But yeah, these extra wear plates on the side here, they definitely want to cut down on the wear. Very aggressive. Yeah, very aggressive looking bucket. I don't know if they'll show it on here, but they have wear plates, but I would also see them when I was working at the shop where I worked at. They would have hard surfacing. And so there would be special welding rod that you would go over these pieces with. And you would make a pattern. It would be like just a bunch of, like for this one, it would be like a bunch of lines that would follow the contour. And they would be spaced out like 2 inches, but then it would be a buildup. So you'd have hard surfacing on there, and that would cut down on the wear as well. Better to wear the weld than the metal itself. Once you wear the metal away from it, then you're getting into like cutting and replacing. And you don't want to do that. Here's a V-buck or a hex stream. Oh, yay. That guy is really beefy. It's got double the connectors at the top. Oh, it even has the names here, the pieces with the on the drawing. Inside cheek plate, wear plate on the inside, the lugging at the top, that's what they refer to that as. And that has, usually they have 2, but this has 4. That's crazy. So yeah, very robust, that one. Definitely, it says extreme and it means it. Okay, and a V bucket for digging that kind of a shape. Dig a safe and a slide slope angle while generating a narrow ditching floor. That's what it's meant for. I've also saw them attach grapples on. So these will be for in the logging industry, these grapples here. Like that. So you're able to grip onto long lengths of trees, logs, move them where you need to go. Like that. There's this one. It's called a clam grapple. Okay, that one's a little different. Once again, though, you're using it to lift up logs. Place them. A dangle head grapple. Okay. A little bit different. A demolition grapple. It's got serrated edges on it, as you can see. Definitely they want to grab on things and not lose their grip. Kind of like that. That's good for picking up junk cars. And you're going to get a lot of crushing power when you see the size of the cylinders they use to push. Yeah, that's so it's showing you a little bit of the construction there. We've got the replaceable weld-on tips. All the logging truck pics remind you of the area you live in? Okay. A lot of forestry going on there, I suppose? A heel grapple. So I can remember them installing all of these. I was not the one doing the installing. I mean, I was just starting out. I was in maintenance. I was not in the operators or the assemblers area. I repaired the equipment that made these things. So a mag scrap grapple. Okay, so now you're going to have a magnet involved. Just like that. And what's this one? Mat grapple? Okay. For grabbing rigging mats, it looks like. Yeah, he picks them up and puts them in place. So, here, let's have a look here. There's another place here too. They're called Paladin, and they've got all the attachments as well. You can go by whatever machine you have. So for excavators, you got all these buckets and other different. You even have like a mulcher. Okay, let's view all of them. A brush cutter, a hydraulic breaker. You'll see a lot of those on excavators when they're doing concrete work. Cab vandalism guards, clearing grapples, clearing rakes, excavator thumbs, window guards, all that stuff. Heavy duty digging buckets, pin grabbers, Oh, stick-mounted rippers. Super long excavator fronts. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that reach. That's crazy. You've got your regular one. Then you've got one that's built for the long reach. That's unreal. So they do all sorts of stuff there. That's just for excavators. For dozers, you got your blades, obviously. Straight blades, semi-U blades, landfill package they can set you up with. A wood chip blade. That's going to be large because wood chips are fairly light. Should look large. It should be large anyway. Let's have a look here. Oh yeah. Look at that thing. Being held up by a forklift right now. Yeah, that is a large bloody blade. Any of these places sell those rotating excavator buckets wheels they use in removing overburden and strip mining. You know what? I'm not sure. David, let's have a look. They got wheel loader attachments. Rotating excavator buckets. I have to have a look here. A flail mower. Wow. Power grapple. They have power grapples. Quick hitch heavy duty bucket. Severe digging. I don't think so. A swinger bucket? No, it's got 2 cylinders on it, so you can have power both directions. Lean it left and right. Huh. I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, these guys, this is where you get your heavy duty stuff from. You can get stuff for skid steers like forks, buckets, sweepers. You should even have snow blades, really. Bale hugger or squeezer. Concrete shooter. Concrete claw. They got blades. A side discharge bucket. Power rake. Oh, there's the snow blower. Snow blade, snow blower. A land sculptor. Oh yeah, and an auger you can hook up. You can have the auger package for your skid steer. Snow pushers. All sorts of stuff they got. And that's just for the small skid steer size stuff. Tractor attachments. Backhoe attachments. All right, let's have a look here. I found this video on YouTube here.
Excavators are designed to work in various environments in large open cast mines around the world. They can weigh more than 1,000 tons, reach 35 foot tall, and can operate from -50 to +50 degrees Celsius. Here are the 5 biggest hydraulic excavators.
Biggest hydraulic excavators.
Their operating weight. Number 5. XCMG XC7000. This machine was released in 2018 and still holds the rank of the largest hydraulic excavator ever made in China. It has an operating
It was made in China, so
73 metric tons and is powered by the two massive 50-liter Cummins diesel engines with a total output of 3,200 horsepower. There is also a lower cost per ton alternative for this machine, two electric motors. In this case, the total output is even higher, almost 3,400 horsepower. The total length of this
that
machine
is like driving a house around.
7 feet. That is about 5 feet longer than a semi-truck with a trailer. XCMG XE7000 can be equipped with two types of attachments, face shovel or a backhoe bucket. The one that you see in this video is the face shovel version. Its attachment is directed outwards and is primarily used in above-ground mining excavations. Selection between these two working modes can be also dictated by geology of the quarry or contractor's.
There you go. So just loading up some of the biggest trucks in the world.
The maximum capacity of this machine is 36 cubic meters or 47 cubic yards, and it can reach to 61 feet of digging height.
And it just
Number
cracks
4,
open there and
Komatsu
lets it in.
PC8000-11. It is the biggest and most powerful mining excavator in the Japanese manufacturer's product range. It has an operating weight of 782 metric tons, if equipped with a face shovel.
782 tons.
With a backhoe bucket. It can be powered either by two Komatsu diesel engines with a total output of 4,020 horsepower, or by two electric motors with a total output of 3,940 horsepower. The total height of this machine is 32 foot 1, and its undercarriage width measures from 27 foot 4 to 28 foot 8. Fuel tank of this monster holds 3,679 gallons of diesel fuel.
3,679 gallons of fuel.
Configurations of this machine have the same standard bucket capacity, 42 cubic meters or 55 cubic yards.
55 cubic yard bucket.
55 gallons each. Number 3. Liebherr R9800 G6. This hydraulic shovel is built in Liebherr's production facility in Colmar, France. To get it delivered to a mine site, it has to be taken apart and shipped in multiple loads.
This thing is so big it has to get put together when it gets to site.
It has an operating weight of 810 metric tons, if equipped with a face shovel, and 800 tons with a backhoe bucket.
Imagine one of those blowing a hydraulic hose.
The choice of either Cummins
Yikes.
or Liebherr diesel engines, while an electric drive version is also available. Electric motors, by the way, produce the highest output, 4,560 horsepower, which is 560 higher than the diesel engine.
4,560 horsepower.
Machine is almost 34 feet.
A little bit
To
of
get to
these, a
the
little bit of
operating
that.
cab of this monster, you have to walk up 3 flights of stairs. Liebherr has the biggest fuel tank than any other hydraulic mining excavator out there. It holds 4,649
gallons.
That's about 180 times more than a tank of a full-size pickup truck. Same as its competitors, this excavator can be equipped either with a face shovel or a backhoe. Backhoe bucket has the capacity of 52 cubic meters or 68 cubic yards and can hold 83 tons of material.
68 cubic yards of that guy.
Number 2. Hitachi EX8000-7. As the largest excavator in Hitachi's range, the EX8000 is capable of exceptional levels of productivity. It has an operating weight of 842 metric tons, if equipped with a backhoe bucket, and 830 tons with a face shovel. It can be powered either by two Cummins diesel engines, two MTU engines, or two Hitachi electric motors. The version powered by MTU, a Rolls-Royce brand, generates the highest output, 4,024 horsepower. The total height of this machine is 32 foot 6, and its undercarriage width measures 28 foot 5. Hitachi's fuel tank has the least capacity in this rating, but still the amount of fuel that it can hold is quite impressive, 3,278 gallons. With the current gas prices, it would cost about $19,000 to fill up this tank in US. Same as its competitors, Hitachi EX8000.
Look at that.
Equipped with
It
two
needs
types of attachments,
two
a face shovel with a maximum capacity
4
of 45
cylinders
cubic
to
meters,
move
or
that
a
boom
backhoe
and
bucket
stick.
with 52 cubic meters of capacity. Number 1. CAT 6090.
Oh, it shouldn't be surprised that Caterpillar's number 1 here.
Machine has come a long way before it received the yellow paint and became part of Caterpillar's product lineup. It was originally launched in 1997 under the name RH400 by German engineering company Orenstein and Koppel, ONK. After that, ONK was sold to Terex with its mining assets, including this machine. Then Terex was acquired by Bucyrus-Erie, an American mining equipment company. Finally, when Caterpillar purchased Bucyrus in 2011, this machine was rebranded into CAT 6090FS, receiving a number of technology advancements from Caterpillar. In the current version, this excavator has an operating weight of 980 tons.
980 tons operating weight.
Total output of 4,500 horsepower. This is the third machine in a row, along with Liebherr and Komatsu, which is powered by 60-liter Cummins engines. Same as its competitors, it is also available with 2 electric motors. Fuel tank of this monster can hold 4,000 gallons of diesel fuel.
4,000 gallons of fuel.
Mining excavators in this rating, CAT 6090FS, can be equipped with a face shovel only, which has a maximum capacity of 52 cubic meters or 68 cubic yards. There is one more machine that must be mentioned here, and it is CAT 6120. It was constructed as a prototype in 2012 at the Caterpillar's manufacturing facility in South Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
This one was a prototype.
Unfortunately, there is not much information available on the specs and features of this hydraulic shovel, nor there are any footages showing it in action. But still it is known that this monster has an operating weight of approximately 1,270 metric tons, which is 300 tons more than its smaller brother, CAT 6090. It is powered by the hybrid diesel-electric engine with an output of about 4,500 horsepower, which is claimed to cut the fuel cost per ton by at least 25% compared to the other shovel options. The capacity of the shovel available for this machine is ranging from 46 to 65 cubic meters or 60 to 85 cubic yards. These were the biggest hydraulic excavators and hydraulic shovels in the world. Thanks for watching this video.
And there we are, biggest hydraulic guys, excavators. Those are ones that when you don't wait for things to break down on those. As soon as things get to a certain number of hours, they get swapped out. So if those lifting cylinders reach their hours, if it's like, okay, it's 3,000 hours, okay, you stop, bring the machine in, swap those out, and put them back. Doesn't matter if they're leaking, broken, doesn't matter if they're perfectly fine. Take them, swap them out, because time is money with these machines. You don't want to have unplanned downtime. That costs the most. If you can have it where you can schedule the downtime, schedule it so that you get your machine worked on when it's not broken down, you're further ahead. You can send it back to work. And that's what they do. They'll do that up there where they're doing all the mining. It gets to be into the world of predictive maintenance, not even preventative, it's predictive. This thing's got this many thousands of hours on it, change it. Don't wait for it to fail. They've got the money to do that up there. After watching this, I guess it's time to show you guys some pictures that I have. And the pictures that I have will be right here. So these are pictures that I scanned myself. And these are back from the year 1994, 1995, I think. So what we're looking at here right now, this is a plasma table. So right now, there is the plasma arc. It's underwater right now because the table fills up with water, but you lay your sheets of steel on here, and they can go up to, I think we'd only do about 3/4 of an inch thick as the thickest one. You could go thicker, but we didn't like the way that there was an angled kerf to the steel. So you'd put your steel in here, you'd braise the water up, you'd program your computer over here, with what you wanted to cut out, and then the machine would go to work. CNC plasma cutter. And it would travel up and down the table and cut parts out the most efficient possible. And once they were done, you'd lift the skeleton off of the parts there and throw that away, and then pick the parts up off the table and send them on their way to either get welded on or finished or whatever they need to get machined or drilled. You'd send them on. So yeah, there is a CNC plasma table. And this is how the parts of the excavator would arrive, just like this, just bare bones, just with the upper part with the cab and engine and all that, and then the lower part with the treads and the support base. So it would arrive like that from the factory to the shop. And then the guys would get busy building parts for it. So as you can see, they would fabricate the sides and the step along the side here and weld that on. They'd weld on the handrail. We'd also make a new base for the tracks to go on. And the rotating part here, this bearing underneath that the whole thing rotated on. We'd install new of those. And then there's an overhead view of the shop. Not very good. The lighting is terrible. It's those sodium lights. Those were terrible. And yeah, it wasn't that great of great lighting in there. And there's the other side of the shop. And then I got a picture of some of the attachments outside. So as you can see, there's some buckets there, some over there. These are just waiting to get shipped out. So trucks would pull in. You'd use the overhead crane. As you can see here, there's the I-beams for it. Use the overhead crane, pick these up, put them on trucks, and ship them out. There's one for, looks like logs, for grappling some logs. There is the John Deere 992E log loader. So for this machine, the guys would build more higher ground clearance. They would weld the base here onto the tracks and give them higher clearance to get through the bush. They built the sides on here to protect the machine. They would build the fuel tank integrated with a counterweight. So it was a combo. And we would fill that with lead shot, believe it or not. So they'd make the counterweight, fill it with lead shot. They'd build the fuel tank and then pressure test it and hydro test to make sure there wasn't any leaks, because when you weld stuff up, you got to make sure there's no leaks, especially when it comes to diesel fuel. They built the cab. They took the old cab off and they built a new one with a door at the back. There's a door on the side here. You open that up and there's a cylinder in there to lower this cab for transportation on the highway, because this is very high. So you'd have to lay this down, and that's what that little cylinder inside was for. We'd put on the guards to keep the trees from getting you, because it's very dangerous out there. You never could tell when if you picked up, it would swing, which way it would swing, and maybe try to hit the cab. So you definitely need the guards on there over the windows. And They built new boom for it with a John Deere guard to go over the cylinder for protection. Again, you don't want anything causing trouble or wrecking those cylinders. Those are expensive, so protect them at all costs. Use a guard. Those guys built a new stick as well, and that was also had a guard, John Deere guard, over the cylinder. And then finally down here to your thumb attachment. And I don't know if they had a grapple on there yet or another mating piece for that, but that is what, as far as they got when I took that picture so many years ago. There's another closer shot. That's the front of the cab, just showing the guards covering the windows. They're on all four sides. And there's the double cylinders used for lifting the boom, because you're lifting heavy weights. You're going to need double cylinders to push that weight. There's a front shot of it. You can see the hydraulic hoses as they go from the stick where it's rigid. That's pipe to hose because it's a pivot point. And you can see there's a guard here covering the front of the cylinders and all this piping that's in behind there. It's all about protection for the hydraulics. If you knock those out, you're done for. You're leaking hydraulic oil all over the place, and you're not moving the machine anymore. This fancy thing here, one of the welders got it into their heads to build something to help weld buckets up. So the digging buckets, and you would put them in this machine, and you could turn them to wherever you needed them to go, and hopefully make your welding time a lot easier to do, rather than tying up a crane or something to lift up a bucket and maneuver it around. You just stick it in this thing, and this thing can rotate, and you can rotate it horizontally, you rotate it vertically, and you could do your welding a lot easier. That's what it looked like. I don't know if they still use it to this day, but that was a prototype from back in the day. And I think that's the last picture. Not a lot of pictures, but some that are just historical now. You've got some, they call that a gimbal? I don't know what we would call that. The guys called it the Janatron 6000 because the guy's name was Jan that designed it. So they called it the Janatron. But yeah, this is heavy metal. Like, this is what working in heavy metal, and to work in this industry, it goes back to the skilled trades, because you can be a heavy equipment mechanic and you can do all this stuff. You can, take the engine apart, put stuff together like this. You needed welders for all this, welders and fabricators. The fabricators, they just set everything up and they tacked things together. And once things were tacked together, it would pass on to the welders, and the welders would do their job of welding everything together, just pouring wire into it. And also machinists, another trade. The machinists would use their lathes, boring machines, and they would, do all the machining for the bosses, or the O-ring bosses that they needed for the attachments. They would use boring machines for the, line boring machines for the stick, where they connect. So up here where there's a pin, they would have bored that out to make it nice and straight, parallel. And they would have inserted a bushing, a steel bushing, yeah, there's a lot of trades that went into making this heavy metal machine. You know, you had your assemblers, and you had your, there was engineers involved. And it's funny because sometimes the engineers would rent attachments from other companies, and then they would bring them here and they would measure them up, and then they would copy them and make their own. So a little bit of underhanded stuff going on there. Oh, there's a good example right there. If I was telling you about the hard surfacing on the bucket, you can see this crosshatch pattern here. That is hard surfacing. You're taking welding wire that is high grade. It's got probably a lot of high chromium content or high carbon content, and they would use that as the what was it again? Hard surfacing. They'd use it. They would use that as hard surfacing just to make it last longer, so it wouldn't wear out as fast. But yeah, the engineers copying the designs of the other companies, that was pretty funny to see. You know, because this thing would show up and be like, oh, what are we doing with this? And they'd be like, oh, nothing. And then they'd go and measure it up and walk away, and you'd be like, oh, okay. Each line is a weld, David. Each line was drawn out by the welder, and then he just followed the line and just poured out his wire feed and just moved along. So yeah, it went across this way and then down this way, make that crosshatch pattern. I've done a little hard surfacing myself, but nothing that was like on a bucket like that. I just did very small hard surfacing. But yes, a lot of trades, like I say, machinists, welders, fabricators, the guys that run the burn table, the CNC guys, the engineers, the guys that are putting them together, right? The assemblers, all those guys. This shop employed a lot of tradesmen, and it shows when they can take something like this and turn it into something like this, just because it has to go into the bush for trees. Now, they made road builders too, which weren't as big or as tall. They weren't as tall, but they did the working on the roads and such like that. They didn't have to go into the bush. These things are going into the bush and grabbing trees. So yeah, it's a shame I didn't take more pictures back then, but I had no idea. So just a few pictures of a shop where they build excavators, modify excavators, and build the attachments for them. And it was pretty neat. It was a great experience. I'm glad I experienced it. It was just, one of the many jobs on the road of life for me. But yeah, that should be, I should be wrapping it up about now. So that was, I had fun reminiscing about that. Seeing all these heavy metal machines. It's pretty incredible when you had a hand working on them or even operating them. You know, you can see how you got to appreciate the design and the work that went into them to make it work the way it does. You know, somebody thought about how they should be put together and what they want it to accomplish, and get rid of any weak spots and make sure it's not going to break down and leave you somewhere. All right. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming out today. You guys were great. I had fun. I hope you did too. People like David Glenn and Whoopa Troopa. And Alex Moore, of course, and DJ Ronnie G, Tits and Ray Guns. I know you had to go back to work, Tits, but I appreciate you coming out too. And I think that, well, you know, anybody else that was listening and lurking, you know, hey, I appreciate it. I hope you learned a few things today, and I hope you'll join me on the next Trades Talk. We'll talk more industrial stuff, because it's what I do and it's what I know. So, you know, they always say, talk about what you know. So hopefully I'll have a couple more pictures and some more videos for you guys. There's other good guys to watch out there too. People I know personally and watch and enjoy, like Pacific 414 and Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner. There's Ronan66, DJ Ronnie G, and DJ Ronnie G was in the chat too. If you like turtles and astronomy and tech stuff, you got to tune into DJ Ronnie G. Most of the times on Mondays at 10:45 Eastern, you'll find them. There's Brandon the Anime Guy, who I was just watching before I started my stream. And our own Woopa Troopa. Be nice to see him streaming again sometime soon. I haven't seen him lately, so if you're there, Woopa, hopefully we can catch you streaming again. And our own Punkwaddle. I like to watch Punkwaddle and his ponderances, and watch him on at Floral from Under Rock, and sometimes on Snowdub's channel. He's a good man. He's good. He's everybody's favorite penguin. Somebody we missed tonight though, Godzillionaire. Hey Godzillionaire, if you're out there, we missed you, buddy. Hope to see you soon. Coming up for me though, Saturday, more Dragon Quest. I'm gonna keep playing along Dragon Quest. That game is really fun. I'm having a great time. And then on Sunday Anime Chat, that will be the theme of the month, is reincarnation. So if you want to see some shows that deal with reincarnation, tune in. And then we'll chat about regular anime stuff and what you guys are watching and what you like to watch and all that kind of good stuff. And maybe what's playing this season. So I am watching a few shows this season, and some of them are really good. I'm enjoying it. So yes, as you can see, DJ put his link in the chat. Woopa's link is in the chat. You guys get a chance, check those guys out. They're good people. But as for me, I hope to see you guys on Saturday. Until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.